You're listening to How to 20-something, the best podcast that helps both men and women navigate their 20s and learn how to adult across all aspects of their lives. We're going to focus on career, relationships, finances, fitness, nutrition, and all of the common challenges and obstacles a typical 20-something will face in this post-college life. I'm your host, Jess Diamond, and I am the CEO and founder of Jess Diamond Coaching, where I help young professionals get their shit together, gain their confidence, and own their life. No one prepares you for this adulting world, so allow me to help you feel like you are no longer a chicken running around with its head cut off and that you actually know what the hell is going on and what your next step to take is. Welcome to How to 20-something. Welcome back to another episode of How to 20-something, where today I'm going to be jumping into the fitness side of life and debunking what I consider to be the top 5 fitness myths. I figured it's been a minute since I've talked about health-related topics, and if you've been listening for quite some time or just know me personally, then you know that outside of my coaching business and this podcast, I am a personal trainer. I actually got into personal training before I got into coaching. My passion for the fitness space and helping other people is what led me to coaching, with the idea that coaching would support my personal training endeavors. Little did I know it would wind up being the other way around, where personal training would be the thing supporting my coaching business and me being able to have a coaching business without all of the stress and mental breakdowns. And don't get me wrong, I thoroughly enjoy personal training, even the early mornings and having a full day of work before noon, but my heart and soul belongs to coaching. I like to say my first love is personal training, but my true love is coaching. That being said, whether it's personal training or coaching, I want to help you to take better care of yourself, and that begins with debunking the beliefs you might have around fitness. And of course, I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't remind you that if you want to learn how to take better care of yourself, I do offer online nutrition coaching that comes with workout programming, and that's for any age. If you're a 20-something listening, if you're a 30-something, 40-something, 50-something, I can help you with your nutrition and with taking care of your health. So if that is of any interest to you and you're wondering how I can help you, then click the Let's Chat link in the show notes and we can talk about your goals and if stepping into a coaching partnership with me is your best next step. But these myths I'm about to run through are common conversations I have with gym-goers or what I see in Facebook groups where people have a misconstrued view on what a workout does for you and what constitutes a good workout. A lot of people fall out of fitness because they burn themselves out with the belief that they need to be torturing their body for an hour straight and leave the gym crawling out the door, otherwise it wasn't quote-unquote effective. None of that is true. So hopefully after you hear these 5 fitness myths debunked, you'll be able to start to heal your relationship to fitness and the way it supports your life, not detracts from it. Now, diving into that very first myth that actually came up in a conversation with one of my clients at the time of me planning out this episode, it's that you need to be sweating to deem a workout as good or effective. The truth? Sweat is not an indicator of a good workout. Yes, it makes you feel like you're working hard, and if you're not sweating, you're made to believe that your workout wasn't good or it was too easy. But allow me to enlighten you. All sweating is your body's mechanism for cooling yourself down. When your internal body temperature rises, your body produces sweat as a way to regulate your temperature back down. Think about when you're sick and have a fever. You go through different processes of sweating and freezing because your body is working overtime trying to cool itself down. You didn't work out, and yet you're sweating solely because of your body's natural response to regulate. So if you can sweat by doing nothing besides sit on a couch and have a fever, then how can you say that sweat is a determinant for how effective your workout was? Besides, people's level of sweat is genetic. I know people who hardly sweat at all, and people who sweat so much they have a puddle around them after one pull-up. Then throw in other factors like the temperature outside, the level of humidity, how hydrated you are, what clothes you're wearing, etc. You could strength train in an air-conditioned gym and not break a single drop of sweat, or you could go for a walk on a hot summer day and be totally drenched. That doesn't mean your walk was any more effective than your lift. In fact, your walk wasn't more effective. It provided a different benefit from your lift. Both are good, but both are different, especially when it comes to the physique you're after. Bringing me to myth number 2. You can spot reduce fat. And on that topic, muscle replaces fat. The truth? You cannot spot reduce fat. You can't do 5 million crunches and squats and have your fat melt off in those specific areas where you have an 8-pack of abs and it looks like you had a BBL, only you didn't. And the other truth is muscle and fat are 2 different tissues. They're not interchangeable where you gain one and lose the other. They are, however, related in the fact that you can put on more muscle. More muscle increases your metabolism because it is more expensive tissue, meaning your body has to work harder to maintain it. Your body working harder translates to calories burned at rest. And if you're strength training, you are telling your body it's in an environment where it needs to be able to lift heavy things and therefore needs to prioritize keeping the muscle on your body, so your body will need to get its energy from somewhere else. That somewhere else being the fat on your body. So your muscle and fat are related, but they do not replace one another or turn into one another. I would tell my nutrition and personal training clients that while you cannot spot reduce fat, you can spot build muscle. And now that you know these are 2 different systems in your body, you can infer that you can build the muscle you want in certain areas and still have a layer of fat residing on top. Another important thing to note is how your body decides to lose fat is going to vary from person to person. Statistically speaking, for males, the last place they will lose fat is in their lower abdomen. And for females, it's your love handles. But that doesn't ring true for everyone either. People lose fat at different rates and build muscle at different rates and in different spots more easily than others. I know my biceps grow the second I look at some dumbbells, but my quads are stubborn as hell. And my boyfriend has the opposite problem. One of my clients' focus is to build her glutes, and she is not genetically blessed with a booty, but she'll see someone at the gym who is and be like, I want their butt. Male or female, doesn't matter. She sees something she is lacking that comes much easier for another person and thinks, why can't that happen to me? And it's solely genetics. That doesn't mean we can't grow her glutes, but it does mean the growth is capped to a certain extent because of her genetics. So when it comes to being realistic about your body, take everything into consideration. Your genetic capabilities, your exercise regimen, your history as in athletics, how long you've been strength training, and what you're eating. There's a lot of factors at play here. Jumping into myth number 3, no pun intended, but it's cardio is the best way to lose weight. Technically, this is true and not a myth, but the way you're thinking about it is backwards. You're thinking that more cardio, the more your heart is racing, the heart rate zone you're working out in, means the more effective your workout is with helping you burn fat and therefore lose weight. Yes, the law of thermodynamics states that you need to burn more calories than you consume. So you hear that and think, great, cardio helps me burn more calories and therefore I will lose weight. But honey, there is so much more that goes into that, because if it were that simple, me and all of the other nutrition coaches in the world would be out of jobs. The metabolism is just as undiscovered as the deep ocean. We just don't know everything about it. It's extremely complicated when you break it down. Cardio helps with heart rate and burning calories. However, your body adapts to whatever you tell it to do. So theoretically speaking, let's say you run 1 mile every day. The first time you run, you'll burn 100 calories. These are arbitrary numbers. I need to say that first. The second time you run, you'll burn 98. The third, 96. And the fourth, 94. Your body is going to get better at preserving calories expended when you're giving it the same stimulus. It's the process of adaptation. Our bodies are outdated in that we have the exact same system from prehistoric times. We just have a drastically different lifestyle. Where thousands of years ago, honestly, even 100 years ago, movement was built into our day. Now we have to schedule it in. What that means from a calories in, calories out standpoint is your body doesn't understand that you are choosing to run for your health, or if you're believing the myth that cardio helps you lose weight, then to lose weight, your body thinks, dear God, I'm running for my life, or in other words, I am unsafe. I need to bear down and conserve calories because if I'm running, that means I don't have time to sit and eat something. Remember how I said muscle is expensive tissue? Well, if you're running, your body is going to get rid of what's weighing it down or holding it back or what's expensive. Basically, what's costing it a lot of calories. So it'll take energy from your muscles, breaking your muscles down so you can go run, leaving you with a skinny fat appearance that you don't want. Your body's number one mission is to keep you alive, and it's going to do everything in its power to do so, even if that means keeping unwanted fat on. It does not understand that you're doing cardio for aesthetics. What you want to be doing is strength train and walk not 20,000 steps, but maybe 8 to 10,000 a day, because that will help you develop a defined or toned body and not a flappy one. On the topic of strength training, I've mentioned this in episodes from a while ago when I did a slew of fitness and health related topics. But myth number 4 is no pain, no gain. Meaning, soreness does not mean you gained all this muscle. Soreness is actually your body's way of telling you you did too much, but you guys don't like to hear that. Soreness, also referred to as DOMS, which stands for day after muscle soreness, is a feeling of stiffness or tenderness preceding a workout. I'm sure you're familiar with it. And it can occur anywhere from 1 to 3 days after your workout is complete. It's hard to fully grasp this concept because soreness feels kind of good. It's that reassurance that you put in work and will be seeing results. But that's not what soreness is. It does not guarantee results. And too much soreness will actually have the adverse effects of no gains. So you'll have all pain and no gain. Chronic soreness reflects your recoverability and can be influenced by hydration levels, by not giving your body adequate time to rest, by not fueling your body enough or properly, and by not sleeping. You should not be striving for soreness after every workout. You will, however, probably experience some, emphasis on some, soreness when you change up your exercises or if you push the weight more than usual, simply because you're changing the stimulus you're sending to your body. And if you're following a proper program, you'll most likely be sore the first time you change things up, and then as you repeat those exercises over the following weeks, your soreness should dissipate. That is, if you're allowing your body time to recover and fueling it properly. I tell my clients, I want you to have to search for your soreness. What that means is you're not getting out of bed and being like, oh my God, I can barely walk, or even grunt to get on and off the toilet. Instead, you're living your life and maybe you go reach for something on the top shelf and think, ooh, I feel that in my shoulder. I worked shoulders yesterday. So your soreness doesn't interfere with your day-to-day life, but you can still find it if you move in a certain way. Similarly, aim for feeling good post-workout, not crawling out of the gym post-leg day, but having energy to carry on with your day because you feel good. Your workout should give you energy, not take it away. If you feel like you need to lay down, take a nap, cancel all the plans for the rest of your day, then you did too much and you need to dial it way back next time. So your bonus myth to throw in here before I go into the real fifth one is not having the energy to work out, so choosing not to. This one is tricky because yes, take a rest day if you're tired. But this myth mainly applies to the person who blows off their workouts and is inconsistent in the gym, then says they don't have the energy to work out, so they skip it. I've had clients say this to me in the past, but then always feel so much better after they do their workout because it's the right dose and fed their body instead of detracted from it. If you are constantly pushing yourself to the max, you're going to be tired because you're teetering on overtraining. If you're undertrained and are tired after a long workday, I'm going to bump you on the head, could have had a V8 style, and tell you no shit, Sherlock. Energy begets energy. So if you don't move your body is like, cool, I don't need to produce energy for extra activity because there is none. On the flip side, moving your body gives you energy because now your body is like, oh, I need energy to go do things. And the more consistent you are at moving your body, the more energy you're going to have to do so. Our body is very good at listening to what we tell it to do. So you have to lean into that. There's a saying that goes, if you need something done, give it to a busy mom. And that's because they are so on the go that they get everything done. Now, that is the extreme. But think about days where you have so much going on, you end up accomplishing like 10 things in several hours versus the days where you have nothing going on and it takes you the whole day to complete 3 tasks. Why? Because energy begets energy. An object in motion stays in motion. So get off your butt and move your body. And if working out at the end of the day is the last thing you want to do, then you need to switch your workout to the start of the day. Do it right, so you can give yourself that energy that you need, and then you'll feel accomplished with showing up for yourself that day, before the day even fully begins. If you're relying on your mood for whether or not you're going to work out, then you're not going to get very far in your health and fitness goals. And you're going to believe all these myths that I'm trying to debunk for you. So the 5th and final myth I'm going to cover in today's episode is taking a week or 2 off from the gym will lose your progress. There have actually been countless studies done on this exact topic, and they found that you can take 3 weeks off from the gym and not lose any muscle mass. After those 3 weeks, you do start to lose your gains. The reason why people believe this myth that you will lose progress when you take time off is because you do lose your pump. So if you're someone who consistently lifts at least, say, twice a week, you're used to having a pump for a majority of the week, where when you look in the mirror, your muscles look a little more full and defined. When you take time out of the gym, for whatever reason, you do lose that pump and you appear more flat. And that flatness plays tricks on your mind and makes you believe you're losing muscle. But you're not. The other positive is muscle has memories. So even if you had to take 4 or more weeks off at the gym, yes, you will lose muscle mass, but it'll come back 1.5 times faster than when you first put it on. I will say, the myth of losing progress and the ability to gain back whatever you do lose only applies to true resistance training, not the resistance boot camp class bullshit. Sorry to shit on it, but it's facts. And certainly not when it comes to cardio. Real resistance training is where you control the rest periods, or the rest periods are being controlled if you're working with a trainer, a good trainer. You'll find yourself losing progress in cardio the second you take a week off. Cardio is one of those things that's easy to improve on if you're consistent with it, but easy to lose the moment you stop. Strength training takes longer to improve on, but takes longer to lose progress on. So don't get the two twisted when it comes to this myth of losing progress when taking time off. And if you do need to take time off, go easy on yourself when you come back to the gym, because what you don't want to do is come back, overdo it, be really sore, and then need to take more time off to recover from your too intense of a workout. But those are the 5 fitness myths. They are 1, you need to be sweating to deem a workout as good or effective. 2, you can spot reduce fat, and on that topic, muscle replaces fat. 3, cardio is the best way to lose weight. 4, no pain, no gain. And 5, taking a week or 2 off the gym will lose all your progress. All of those are myths. All of those are untrue. So hopefully, now you have a better understanding as to what's actually going on in the gym with your body and with your relationship to exercise. Because there is so much misleading information out on the internet and with bad influencers or people who are genetically blessed. Everybody is different. Everyone's genetic makeup is different. Everyone's lifestyle is different. So just because something works for someone does not mean it'll work for you. This is mainly for the people listening who see their dream body on someone else and ask for that person to drop their workout regimen. These myths, however, are common fitness misconceptions, and I want to set the record straight so you can be a bit more realistic with what's going on with your body, progress, and goals. And of course, if you have any questions, if you want to debate me on any of these myths that I debunked, Or if you want to work with me as your nutrition coach, which comes with workout programming, then check out the show notes and click the Let's Chat link so we can talk about possibly working together. If you want to debate me, shoot me an email. Otherwise, this does conclude another episode of How to 20-something. If you liked what you heard, if you learned something new, or hear a friend believing in these myths that they're seeing online, then please share this episode, send it to someone, post on social media, and tag me at coach.justdiamond when you do. And as always, I can't wait to be in your headphones again next week with another brand new episode.